Evidence that our world has been visited by aliens is always hotly contested. Even so, a huge number of us believe that aliens exist and that they must have visited us at some point in our past. Furthermore, many are convinced that they continue to visit us even to this day. We have 5 examples of extraterrestrials caught on camera and spotted in real life to help you decide for yourself. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Graveyard Alien. This footage was supposedly over a decade old when it was first posted on YouTube. The user who posted it mentioned that they initially hadn't noticed anything out of the ordinary and were just taking in some footage of the local scenery. Upon replaying the video years later, they noticed something strange hiding behind one of the tombstones. Having no recollection of seeing or hearing anything out of the ordinary during their original excursion, they decided to enhance the footage and shed some light on this mystery figure. To their surprise, they discovered that they had inadvertently captured some incredible footage of what looks very much like a small gray-green alien. When you take a closer look, it's really unmistakable. After peeking out to see whether the coast was clear or not, the ET then slips back out of sight. If this was an alien, it certainly did a perfect job and managed to remain undetected for quite a while. Some have claimed that this might be a strange animal and not an extraterrestrial, but we're sure that any animal that looked like that would be noticed and identified sometime between then and now. This video does beg the question why an alien would be walking around a graveyard in the middle of the day, especially with people walking around, although that can be explained any number of ways. It's also suspicious that the original poster would have a video camera in a graveyard, but people do like to get scenic footage of all sorts of weird spots, so we can assume that's not all that odd either. While many people have weighed in on the discussion and given a lot of conflicting opinions, we think that this probably isn't a hoax. The footage doesn't seem to be doctored at all, and everything in the scene seems pretty normal, if only a little creepy. The alien does, however, seem like it could be a simple optical illusion. This could be in the actual environment, or perhaps the technical limitations of the video camera being used. Jagged edges and static are known to occur with some older cameras, as well as any number of issues that could lead to a less than perfect picture. All that aside, this is still definitely gonna cause some arguments, with ancient alien theorists convinced that this is yet another example of irrefutable proof that we've been visited by ET, both in the past and present. What do you think? Number 4. Google Earth. After an abduction, a British man and self-proclaimed UFO expert claims that he was able to find clear evidence in pictures captured by Google Earth. That's a pretty big claim, and we were originally highly skeptical. We still are, but after looking at the picture, we have to admit that it does look pretty legit. John Mooner, who lives in Devon and has dedicated much of his life to the study of UFOs and extraterrestrials, says that he was accosted by an alien who seems to have appeared and punched Mr. Mooner in the face. He reported that a struggle then ensued between the two. After being hit by the alien, he tried to fight back and attempted to defend himself. He remembers swinging at the alien and then nothing else about the attack or subsequent alleged abduction. Mr. Mooner is no stranger to ET abductions by his own account and says that he's been involved in a large amount of similar episodes. He was quick to point out, however, that this was the first time an alien actually swung at him or tried to use physical force in the form of a punch. When he came to, Mr. Mooner scoured the area on Google Earth to see if he could find anything to help him recover his memory, and that's when he found what looks a lot like 2 figures duking it out. He described himself as wearing a black ball cap and shirt, which is what one of the people involved in this Google Earth altercation is wearing. Unfortunately, Mr. Mooner's claims weren't taken very seriously by the rest of his compatriots. After the story appeared in a local paper, many people responded by noting that he was a regular storyteller and that many of his claims have never been substantiated. We'll leave the decision up to you as to whether you think Mr. Mooner's telling some tall tales or not. We think that he may have found an image that supported his wild theory and simply ran with it, but do think that everyone deserves the benefit of the doubt from time to time. Number 3. Reptilian. First referenced by noted conspiracy theorist David Icke and covered by countless authors and ancient alien theorists since then, reptilians are a race of aliens intent on taking over and dominating our planet. Many supporters of the theory have claimed that these extraterrestrials, who hail from the Alpha Draconis star system, are cunning and manipulative shapeshifters. They supposedly plan to take over the planet by either replacing or possessing celebrities, politicians, businessmen, and world leaders. Pretty much anyone in a position of authority or power are potential victims, if the hype is to be believed, with Ike stating that most of our world's leaders have already succumbed to the reptilian tricks. It's very much worth noting that Ike was an author before he began his crusade against evil alien overlords, with much of his books based in science fiction. The book Children of the Matrix seems to carry a lot of inspiration for these theories, although it's possible that Ike may have simply been channeling an otherworldly power or knowledge. That's almost definitely not the case, but hey, you never know, right? Many other people have since come forward and claimed that they have been abducted by these life forms and have corroborated Ike's views and opinions. They say that these creatures look very much like people and are incredibly humanoid in appearance. They're supposed to have slits in the side of their head instead of ears when in their original form. They are also very tall and imposing. Ike has further stated that he is convinced that reptilians drink human blood and are possibly the basis for the vampires of legend. Say what you will about him, Ike does have a certain stage presence, with his lectures occurring in 47 countries to crowds of upwards of 6,000 people. That's a lot of conspiracy nuts. Add to that the idea that 4% of registered US voters believe his theories as well, and we've got one big melting pot of reptilian theorists. These people must have read a lot of science fiction, although we think it's probably safer to assume that they don't read much at all. For all the joking we've done at David's expense, this video seems to have something to it, and does show a very reptilian-looking figure in Obama's Secret Service entourage from 3 different angles. Many people say that it's gotta be a reptilian alien mid-morph. Do you think the invasion's already begun? Number 2. Lake Monster. This lake monster could very easily be something out of a science fiction novel as well, but it's been captured on camera just for us, and looks very real. Stories of alien structures buried deep below the surface of the ocean have thrilled ancient alien theorists for a long time, and we think it's not too much of a stretch to think that they could easily be able to breathe underwater. We're not saying that this is proof of alien life, but we do think that it looks weird enough to warrant giving it a closer look. The problem with finding aliens in aquatic life forms is that they're all pretty alien to us to begin with. If we were to take a look at awkward shots of some of the ocean's strangest beings, we would undoubtedly see something foreign and otherworldly. We've even covered a few of these in previous videos, and can assure you that life in the ocean is strange and, in many cases, terrifying. So when it comes to determining whether this picture has actually captured an alien or just something ordinary lurking under the surface, we're really not qualified to even make any guesses. That, however, isn't gonna stop us from doing so. The sickly gray pallor of this thing makes us really feel for it if it is, in fact, alive. It can't be too far below the surface because of the fact that the water is pretty murky. Anything lower than just below the surface would quickly disappear out of sight. While any first glance at this thing would be startling, it wouldn't take much to fish around and try and pull it out if it was close to shore. The wrinkled appearance makes us think of a piece of clothing, and that's probably what this thing is. Without any video evidence, we can't really determine how it was moving, but based on the ripples above it, we think we can safely assume that it was pretty much motionless. After we really took a look and asked around, we figure that someone would probably have dropped a shirt or a pair of pants into the water, or a piece of garbage that happened to go floating by. The eyes of the creature are the same size, shape, and color as other bits of debris seen floating on the surface, which, let's be honest, is the only aspect that makes this object look like it's living. If you disagree and think that you have some evidence to support this being an alien life form, please feel free to leave a comment and prove us wrong below. We're always willing to give things a second look and are interested to hear what you have to say. This next alien caught on camera and spotted in real life, however, is one that has us completely stumped. Let's take a look now. Number 1. Floating Alien. We don't care what you think about old Floaty at number 2, this video is gonna blow you away. Thousands have given their opinions, and the overwhelming majority are simply dumbfounded and at a complete loss as to what this mysterious being could be. A lot of people have pointed out that it could be a ghost, but others have suggested that it's much too solid and opaque to be a real ghost who they see as being more ethereal. Filmed in Turkey, the object or creature is only about a foot tall and basically floats all around a city street. It only hovers a little bit off the ground for most of the clip, but rises effortlessly to a number of meters off the ground at one point before dropping back down. The camera even has a hard time focusing on it, and it appears to phase out of existence entirely once or twice. We have to say, this footage really sent shivers down our spine. Alien or not, this is definitely real and in plain sight. As it descends after one of its jumps up to higher elevations, you can even see a clearly humanoid figure. Commenters noticed the coloring, which seems to be black and white, and pointed out that this could be a penguin, which we thought was a very serious possibility until it makes those awkward jumps, which is something a penguin certainly wouldn't be able to do being a flightless bird. Barring any ghostly run-ins or close encounters of the third kind, we think this could also simply be a balloon with a weird shape. No matter what it actually was, this video of a real-life alien has the internet freaking out a little bit. Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button before you head out if you're new. That's all you have to do. Come on, just click it. I know you want to. Oh, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. I heard it gives you superpowers in the future or something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.